Okay. Hope my screen is visible. Can anybody confirm?
Yes, sir, visit.
Okay. Thank you. So we were discussing about the slippery and damaged surface. The next one are the floors devoid of water puddles. In the sense, it is about the making of drainage system. And are they treads and the risers of the staircase is in good condition? It is nothing but the height of the risers means it is the height, and the treads means it is the width of the staircase. And also, those should be in a uniform manner. It should not be one riser will be small in height and one riser will be less in height. Riser in the sense height of the step. And also the standard handrails. So for each staircase, the handrail should be must in case. So what will be the minimum height of the handrail? Any guess? Minimum height of the handrails. There will have mid rail and top rail.
So top rail should be 1200 mm. And mid rail should be 600 mm.
Okay, it will be mostly in the top rail, we'll say 36 to 38 inches, and mid rail from top rail, it will be 19 inches. And sometimes what will happen, it will have a double rail in the sense over the top rail, they'll have another rail. If that is the case, the top rail will be close to 30 to 36 inches. That is how it will be there as per the OSHA. Okay. So it is not about only the placing of the handrail. We should ensure that the handrail is in good condition and secure. So sometimes what will happen, especially in the construction sites, they used to put for the namesake, they'll put the handrails, and in the industries also, they've installed the handrails over a period of time. It will become loose or it will become rusty or damaged. They won't uh, put it back to the good condition. So that is also we have to check. And the heavy and bulky objects stored safely and also out of the aisles, etc. So whatever the heavy objects should be properly stored in the lower levels, and the lighter weight materials always we keep in the higher side. And in some
Sir,
cases,
can you please,
if the please.
can you please repeat that minimum and maximum height of handrail?
For the handrail, it is from 36 inches to 38 inches, the top rail from the base of the staircase, I mean the step, and from the mid rail to top rail in between, it will be 19 inches.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So as I said, the bulk materials should be in the bottommost, and the lighter weight materials will be in the higher levels, so that it is easy to take it out from the storage locations. And also are only a minimum required numbers of containers of materials stored in the plants. So it is the minimum required numbers. In the sense, it talks about the safe inventory, whether we are keeping the inventory as we required. Sometimes what will happen, they will take the metal bulk in quantity which is not required. For 1 year, they may purchase for 10 years. It will be risk prone. In case of any incident happens, the total material is getting into ashes. So safe inventory is always advisable. Also, it is recommended. Are they segregated if incompatible? So what is mean by incompatible? Compatible or incompatible? What does mean by that?
So basically, compatible means we can keep those both items together without having any chemical or physical property degradation. So incompatible is opposite to that.
Okay. I'll put it in
Incompatible
simple.
are they will take chemical reaction and can
Okay.
be a hazard.
Okay.
So they
Yes.
should not be stored in same nearby vicinity.
Okay. Great. So basically, if you say compatible and incompatible, we can keep it in general terms: comfortable and uncomfortable. If you say comfortable, for example, I am comfortable with my friend. I am uncomfortable with my enemy. So that is incompatible. So if the materials which are not going to react each other, which is not going to cause any potential risk to the people, environment, or property, those are compatible. If the materials we are storing nearby or close to each other, if they are trying to react each other, and they are producing another material or producing a risk to the people, property, and environment, those materials are incompatible. For example, if you say incompatible, we'll say flammables and toxic substances, high base and high acids, and also flammables and oxidizing substances. You should not store together or near the vicinity. Okay, that is the one. If you're looking for any chemicals, you are storing any chemicals or in such sort of metals, you should definitely check, you should definitely ask the supplier which are the materials incompatible to the materials which is supplying. And is the painting for the factory premises are carried out at the specified intervals in a suitable record maintained in the prescribed registers. So regarding the painting, I think whitewash, if I'm not wrong, once in 5 years. I think cleaning, it has to be done once in 2 years, all the walls and boundaries of it. I don't know, practically, I have not seen such a kind of records with my experience. But upon a management call or the practices, they used to do the painting of it. But this painting is requirement fall under cleanliness of the premises, which covered in Factories Act, Chapter 3, which is health. If I'm not wrong, the section 14 or 16. Okay. Or the floors, stairs, and passages, gangways properly maintained, free from obstructions and the substances like to cause a person to slip. So this is where very important. People used to have a casual walk in the states. So it is very the walk, it will put them in a very dangerous situation. Sometimes they used to run on the stairs. Sometimes the people used to talk on mobile phones. Even sometimes any watery or slippery surface, it leads to severe accidents. We have to ensure that the floor is or the stair is good in condition and which is out of any or without any slippery surface. Are there any safe means of access to every working place and for maintenance purposes? So, have you seen any such conditions, especially from, I think, oil infrastructure? Somebody is there. Maintenance also, I could see the people. Means of access for every working place for the maintenance purposes. Have you come across any situation where it is difficulty to reach such locations for attending any maintenance issues or any problems? Anybody? I think from pipeline infra. Okay, fine.
Sir,
So
question is,
the question is that there are workplaces which are difficulty to access. Here the point is, are there any safe means of access to every working place and for maintenance purposes? One is for reaching out the workplace, and other is for maintenance purposes also. So basically what will happens, the most of the locations, not most of the locations, very few locations, I can say, otherwise, which are the blind spots, not only the blind spots, which are unattended or unexpected maintenance works comes in. So there will not have a sufficient space or a sufficient platform to perform the activity. So basically for the workplace, definitely we'll have proper staircase or means of access or any standard ladder or fixed ladder or monkey ladder, whatever the ladder
that
we'll have,
time
and we'll reach the place.
that time we will provide the scaffolding.
Yeah. So that time we'll have the scaffolds. But sometimes we used to have the permanent platforms where it is required permanently, but otherwise we used to have the scaffolding system. Yes, rightly pointed. Thanks. And are the pits, sums, and floors openings securely covered and fenced? This is also one of the legal requirement. As I mentioned in the health section itself, there it will have pits, sums, and openings. So we have to very careful about it. All the pits and sums are properly closed. And even I could see a good practice. Most of the sometimes confined spaces, we used to have a work permit or procedure. Which are the places will fall under confined space? Can you give any examples?
Pipeline.
One entry, one out.
One entry, one
One-
exit.
One entry and one exit. So is the pit comes under confined
same
space?
entry, same same entry and same out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is manhole. Any
Like a person should be able to have a vessel, but not for continuous human occupancy. Bodily, he shall be able to bodily enter into the equipment.
Okay. So if I say a drainage, is it a confined space? Drainage will have, I mean, maybe within 5 meters or 6 meters, again, we'll have a manhole.
Yes, like trenches.
Even concrete structured water tank also can be considered as confined space.
Yes, concrete structures, even pits,
where
sums.
there is a chance of oxygen deficiency, we can say confined space.
Yes, even Sentex tanks, even water tanks also a confined space. So if you are implementing a work permit procedure in your company, you should clearly identify which are the areas or which are the locations or which are the equipments or which are the storage tanks will fall under confined space. There we have to clearly give a signage saying that if you are entering this area, you definitely write a confined space work permit, or you can mention on the manhole or over the pit or on the opening of the tank. So there we have to enter. It is a confined space. Only authorized people or authorized entry required. Now the work area staircase is properly illuminated. So there also we have an Indian standards based on each workplace. These illumination levels are different from, for example, office and staircase, even open grounds and inspection area and manufacturing process, etc. This also you can search in Indian standard for illumination. You will get the document. Now the emergency exits are kept clear. Are the areas outside emergency doors clearly demarcated? So this is also a critical case. So most of the times what will happen? For what purpose we use emergency exits? Don't tell.
To evacuate.
No, apart from that, I know it is used for evacuation purpose. Apart from that, what are the other purposes we use practically?
As a shortcut.
Mm-hmm. Anything? basically, these are the emergency exits. They mostly utilize for storing of the materials. Sometimes what will happen, they do overproduction. They don't have place to store the material which they produced. So they have a free space in and out of the emergency exit. They happily store all the material. In case of any emergency happens, so the people are not able to escape from the immediate vicinity, it leads to fatal cases. So always we have to ensure that all the emergency exits and emergency equipments must be free from obstruction. That's why we used to demark the fire extinguisher bottom. The fire extinguisher will be around 700 mm over the floor, but sometimes if it is not able to mount on the floor, we used to keep on the stands. There we clearly demarcate that fire extinguisher. Do not block or do not keep anything or do not take away from that, so that people will understand. Okay. And also that awareness should be there with all the people. Otherwise, what will happen? They used to block the areas. Are all the drain covers in good condition also fitting with the flush, so that all the drainage covers are properly good in condition? And also for the flushing, sometimes what will happen, due to so much dust which is accumulated over a period of times, it needed a cleaning. Otherwise, it is going to clog. Okay, then mission guard. It is also one of the legal requirement again. It will cover in health chapter, which is section 29, if I'm not wrong. 28 it is for lifting tools and tackles. I think 29, guarding of machinery or moving parts. So all the moving parts of the machinery securely fenced by the standard safeguards. So all the moving parts of the machinery, basically the machines itself, it will come with a proper guarding. Sometimes what will happen, due to some issues or maintenance activity, we remove the guards. Then later they may think that okay, अभी ये नहीं आएगा तो हम लोग आराम से काम कर सकता है. So whatever the guards which we have removed, we have to install it back after the immediate completion of maintenance activity. And we do more discussion in IS 102, where we talk about the designing of the guards for the machines. Is the guard interlocked with the machine motor? So machine motor, in the sense, if you see in the machines or a bigger kind of engineering equipments or CNC machines or in hydraulic machines, where if you open the door, what will happen? It will directly stop the running of the motor. So that what will happen? The machine stops at that situation. Are the guards always kept in position when the machinery is in motion? Kept in position in the sense, those guards are in active state. So in guards also we'll have fixed guards or removable guards or photoelectric sensors, etc., etc. So those guards are properly in place or not? Is the interlocking system regularly checked? So this is also an issue. Maybe sensor failure. The guard will not work properly. Maybe accidentally person went inside the machine. He think that okay, guard is there. जब मैं अंदर जाएगा तो machine automatic बंद हो जाएगा. But the situation is the sensor is not working. He is going to meet with an accident. So always we need to check the sensors are properly working or not. Is the examination, lubrication, and adjustment of the machinery carried out while the machine is in motion? So for this also, there is a legal requirement. There are certain people who are authorized to do this when the machinery is in motion. Especially for the maintenance team, we give this authorization, because some kind of machines or sometimes the maintenance team has to test the machines under running conditions. They can't give an assurance that the machine is in not in working condition or not in moving condition. Yes, they have done their job well. So definitely they have to check the machine in motion condition. The who is called the occupier has to maintain a register who are the people authorized to work while the machines are in motion. Most of the country, this thing, they used to cover in the roles and responsibilities, but it is good to have the register also. For this also, there is a form actually. I'm not able to recall exactly. Are the workers suitably trained to carry out such repairs? Again, saying, if you are saying that, okay, Ram or Jagadish or Suresh or Gajanan, Praveen Kumar, etc., are authorized to do such kind of activities in the sense, while the machines are in motion, they are authorized to do the repairs if they are got proper training or not. Is the name of the workers recorded in a prescribed register? So as I mentioned, they have to maintain the register for it. Are the guard regularly regularly examined by the maintenance team? Which means all the machine guards are examined by the maintenance team or not, or whether they have a checkpoint in their maintenance schedule or in their maintenance checklist or not, or the belt change mechanism is in good condition, then all the machinery are positively isolated for maintenance. What does mean by positively isolated?
Blinding.
Okay. Any
there should be some physical disconnect between things, like dropping
what is it called? What is the practice called?
So they are ensuring that
isolation.
in no way that
Line
material
break.
will pass to the work area
Okay, can I say
by any
Lotto?
means.
Line break.
Lotto
Yes.
system.
Well, it's a blinding. Blinding is the
Blind-
positive isolation.
Okay. So what is mean by Lotto?
Lockout
Lockout.
tagout.
What we do in that?
We'll
During
isolate
electrical isolation for particular things.
isolated.
Mm-hmm.
It will be positively isolated. The breaker will be racked out.
लॉकआउट एंड टैग आउट सर लॉक डाल के व्हाट टैग डिस्क्रिप्शन डाल के व्हाट ब्रेकर as well as what devices to be isolated.
So basically, positive isolation in the sense it is lockout tagout. There we do two types of isolation. One is electrical and mechanical. If you say electrical, all the electrical energy which is connected will disconnect or will switch off the breakers. Then we'll apply whatever it is MCP or any breaker. We do suitable Lotto kit and we do isolation, and then we'll apply lock and tag. If it is a mechanical, so type of sometimes we'll do apply a blind, or sometimes we physically disconnect, or sometimes we'll just shut off the line and we do apply a lock. Okay, basically positive isolation is nothing but we'll just remove the all risks from the immediate vicinity. Yes. Or
Sir,
evidence of risk.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Can anybody tell me what is positive interlocking is? Because we do this interlocking with guard. So one terminology is being used, that positive interlocking. What does that mean? Anybody can throw on like this?
Positive interlocking? Interlocking with
Yeah.
what?
With guard. We talked about the interlocking of guard with the moving parts.
Positive
Yes.
interlocking is nothing but it should be in active state. So whenever, for example, basically what will happen if you see in the automobile sector, there we have press machines where we have sheet metal. Then depends on the shape of the body part which you are producing. There we have photoelectric sensors. So whenever you are interrupting that sensor or the path of the beam, so it automatically stop the hydraulic machine. The movement. That is a positive interconnecting.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then
But in a way, if you will speak about electrical energy, if I will switch off and then I'll place a lock, it's a isolation. But when I disconnect the cable, so it is electrically disconnected. So no one can just reach and connect the cable and then switch it on. So disconnection is a positive isolation in terms of electrical energy. But in case of process energy, even though valve will be closed and it will be having a lotto, valve can pass or someone may operate that valve. If I place a blind or I will remove a spool, so that is positively. Someone cannot easily place it and switch
yeah,
it.
permanently disconnection. Yes. Especially we do such a kind for the nitrogen lines especially in the process industries. We permanently disconnect. Sometimes what will happen because of the blinds, the reactors will have so many pipeline connections, inlets and outlets, etc., etc. There is a chance of putting a blind with these pipelines. With that case, what will happen? Nitrogen is an inert gas. Even we don't feel that we are breathing it. So within less amount of time, maybe 4 minutes, we can alive, maybe with the less oxygen or without the presence of oxygen. So there are cases actually in pharmaceutical industries there it is used to apply. Yeah, thanks. Then all emergency stop buttons effectively or clearly labeled. So this is also important that it is not about effectively labeled. It should be known to the people. That's where we have talk about in the ergonomics. This is also one of the key point. Whenever you're designing such a mission, all the controls are in visible in state and also easily accessible. In case of any such situations occurs, they can effectively control the mission. And also we used to have nowadays everybody's labeling or everybody's putting a signage and to easily understand where the emergency buttons are. Then maintenance of equipment. This is also very important. There are different kinds of equipments we use in the various process, hoist and lift or lifting devices, revolving machinery. Then we'll have pressure vessels and also electrical equipments. If you see the hoist and lift, so are there any examined by the competent person once in 12 months? This is also one of the legal requirement. As we see in a competent person, means it is not about a person, it is about an institute also, a person or institute who are authorized to inspect, examine, audit the premises and also equipments and to give a certification or a letter or fitness certificate to that equipment. They will be called competent persons. These competent persons are authorized by the inspector of factories. Then all the records are maintained. So can I get in a few answers? What are the various issues we could see in this hoist and lift certificates, calibration certificates, practical issues? Have you faced any issue with the certificate?
They may not cover all the equipment like chain links.
No, with the certificate only. I'm not talking about how they are examining and all. With the certificates, we should be very clear that what we do once we got the certificate, we'll nicely keep it in the file in a beautiful file and we'll put it in a drawer. We never see the certificate, what and all they have written. And sometimes what will happen, the examination they have done, sometimes they do mismatch of the identification numbers and mismatch with the dates. Sometimes they may put, instead of 2022, they may put 23. Instead of they may put the serial number, different serial number will be there. Sometimes the signatures will be missed. And also sometimes they do the range also. If you see the pressure gauge, it has to be there for 0 to 50 bar. If the pressure gauge is there, they have to do in such a range only. You can't do for from 10 to 50. So whatever the range of the equipment or pressure gauge, for the same range, they have to do the calibration. That is also one of the non-complaints we have to check. Okay, the range is very important. Okay, here we have less than a minute. I'll stop here. If you have any questions, we can discuss. We can continue in the next session. I suggest always, whenever you received your calibration certificate,